But listen, Ms. Pugh, don't speak over me. Ms. Pugh, just because you say respectfully does not mean that you get to interrupt me. That's disrespectful, right? Hang on. Listen, Ms. Pugh, stop talking over me. If you want to stop talking over me.
Where is the verified claim that is being placed against my trust?
You can go back with the bailiff. Go back with the bailiff. Get your own attorney or represent yourself if you don't like it. Morning. Are you Janetta Pugh?
I'm the beneficiary of that estate.
You're the what?
I'm the beneficiary of that estate.
You're the beneficiary of what estate? Answer my questions, please, ma'am. I'm just trying to understand. Okay.
For the record, I recognize Ms. Pugh. She's been here before.
I do as well, for the record.
And I looked into Mr. Christopher Wiley. I can't find that person as a practicing lawyer in the state bar paying, and I have not been contacted by anybody on Ms. Pugh's behalf.
All right, so Ms. Pugh, Mr. Lewis has been appointed to represent you at this point. Obviously, you know as well as anyone that you're in custody and we want to get your case taken care of. If you've hired or your family has hired another lawyer, then they have to contact the court so that we can do something with your case. And do you know if they've hired someone?
Respectfully, Your Honor, I do not agree with your appointed foreign agents, considering that the first duty is to the state and will be considered conflict of interest. You know.
Okay, so if you don't want, the only thing I can do, I'm appointing an attorney to you to help you, right? So if you don't want a court-appointed attorney, then your only option, two things. One is to represent yourself or to hire a lawyer. So if you don't like the way it works, then you do something different. So are you, listen to what I'm saying. Are you either going to represent yourself, or are you going to let Mr. Lewis represent you, or are you going to hire someone?
Objection, Your Honor. Respectfully, is this a court of record?
It is a court of record. So your objection's overruled.
Okay. Respectfully, Your Honor, where is the verified claim that is being placed against my trust?
It's right here. It's called an indictment. And Mr. Lewis has a copy of it, and he can show it to you. So that would be the verified claim against you.
Okay. Your Honor, respectfully, Your Honor, there were writs that was filed to the case that still haven't been received.
I've received your petition for writ of habeas corpus, and it's denied.
Okay. Respectfully, Your Honor, I demand to be released due to lack of evidence of stated claim and not being given the proper opportunity to obtain proper counsel to effective defense.
It's overruled. You're running out, aren't you?
Listen, Miss Pugh, don't speak over me. Just because you say respectfully doesn't mean you get to interrupt me. That's disrespectful. Hang on, let me finish. If you want to talk over me, go ahead. But where's the verified claim that's being placed against me? If you don't like the situation, go get your own attorney or represent yourself. Are you Janetta Pugh? Answer my question, ma'am. I'm trying to understand here. For the record, I've looked into Mr. Christopher Way, and I can't find him as a practicing lawyer in the state bar database. I haven't been contacted by anyone on his behalf either. Now, Miss Pugh, Mr. Lewis has been appointed to represent you. You know you're in custody and we need to get your case moving. If your family hired someone else, they need to contact the court and we'll take care of it. Do you know if they've hired someone yet? Respectfully, Your Honor, I disagree with your appointed foreign agents. I believe their first duty is to the state, which could create a conflict of interest. Well, here's how it works. I'm appointing an attorney to represent you. If you don't want a court-appointed attorney, your other option is to represent yourself, or you can hire your own lawyer. If you don't like the way things work, you have to make a decision. Are you going to represent yourself? Let Mr. Lewis represent you.
I appreciate your position, but listen, Ms. Pugh, don't speak over me.
Respectfully, for my incarceration.
Ms. Pugh, just because you say respectfully does not mean that you get to interrupt me. That's disrespectful, right? Hang on. Listen to me. Everything you have there is overruled. And here's one of the reasons why is because you have a lawyer. And your lawyer will file the appropriate motion. You're interrupting me again, which is disrespectful. So I'm going to leave Mr. Lewis as your attorney unless you choose to represent yourself or hire someone else. I'm going to give you 2 weeks to determine what you're going to do. You can go back. You can go back with the bailiff.
I do not agree or comply to your appointed
Go back.
agents.
You already said that, and that's overruled.
Is to the state.
Go back with the bailiff. Get your own attorney or represent yourself if you don't like it.
Yes.
Your objection is overruled. Where is the verified claim being placed against my trust? It's right here. It's called an indictment. Mr. Lewis has a copy of it and can show it to you. That's the verified claim. But I haven't received it yet. I've received your petition for a writ of habeas corpus, and it's denied. Respectfully, Your Honor, I demand to be released due to lack of evidence and not being given the proper opportunity to obtain counsel. Objection overruled. You're running out of time here. It's fine. It's not fine. Right now, you're embarrassing yourself. Everyone here is finding this hilarious. But honestly, I must admit, I'm loving this judgmental attitude. She's just sitting there waiting for this sovereign citizen narrative to run out of steam.
Pew, Mr. Jeffries has been appointed to represent you. He's just been given, he's trying to get caught up real quickly on all the information and the discovery in your case. I'm going to reset your case so that he can get all of that. Once he gets it, he'll be out there to go over it with you, and we'll see if we can get an announcement at the next court date.
Thankfully, Your Honor, I do not agree to comply with any of the appointed court agents, considering that their first duty is to the state.
I understand. We've had this conversation before.
To the conflict of interest. And for your record, I'll be representing myself.
So if you want to represent yourself, there's some things. Ms. Pugh, stop talking over me. If you want to stop talking over me. If you want to represent yourself, then there is a process that we have to go through, and we'll do that today if that's what you want to do. We'll get your case set for trial, and we'll go forward that way. It is highly inadvisable for you to represent yourself. Lawyers have many, many years of training. They understand the law. They understand how a trial works, because here's what happens. When you're in a trial and you represent yourself, you're expected to know and follow all of the rules of evidence, all the rules of procedure. And so you're really at a disadvantage if you don't know those things. And so you have to do everything just like the assistant district attorney would. And if you don't, you're going to be in front of a jury, and it's going to show, and it's just not going to be, it usually does not work out in your benefit. But I have to go through with you some questions first before we do that. And then if you still want to do that, then there's a couple of things couple of options, and we'll go over those as well, okay? So I am supposed to ask you, I'm going to go through these questions. I need you to answer them if you want to represent yourself, because this is required, all right? So have you ever studied the law?
Yes, I understand.
Okay. Have you ever represented yourself before in any kind of criminal matter? Okay. Do you understand the charges against you?
I'm only been accused of.
Okay. And so do you know, and we've gone over before, I think, what the range of punishment is if you're found guilty on a jury? Do you know what that is? Let's see. Hold on a second. Let me pull you up here. We'll go over that again as well. The date of that allegations from June 22nd of 2021. And what that means is if you're found guilty, that the range of punishment that the jury could give you is between 2 years as a minimum punishment up to 10 years in prison, anywhere in between. Do you understand? And you answer out loud just for the record.
Do you understand? No, I don't understand.
What do you not understand?
People think they've found some legal loophole, but the law doesn't work like that. Let's be real. This isn't a hidden cheat code to get out of charges. The courts have repeatedly decided that simply stating "I do not consent" doesn't erase the charges. Jurisdiction doesn't work that way. It's rare to see this type of argument, but let's be real. I'm just curious how she ended up in this situation. I mean, how did she think this would play out? It's super awkward. Even though she's being polite and respectful, she's clearly lost right now. holding on to anything she can. It's honestly baffling how someone could go so deep down this rabbit hole, but here we are. What's going on in her mind? I get that reading about being a sovereign citizen is one thing, but actually trying to carry it out in a courtroom is another. Anyway, it's not over yet, so let's dive back in and see where this goes. Judge, Miss Pugh, I appreciate your position, but listen to me. Don't speak over me. Just
So here's the thing. If you want to represent yourself by law, you have to be able to understand these things. Otherwise, I've got to appoint an attorney for you. So you can't just say, I want to represent myself because I don't like the attorney or I don't like the process. This is the process that you're in. You live in Texas, you live in the United States. This is the law that applies to your case. So what do you not understand about the range of punishment if you're found guilty? And I'd be glad to explain it.
I don't understand because I'm going to be able to do that.
That's what a jury's for, right? And so if you say you're not guilty, then you go in front of a jury and they determine after they listen to the evidence if you're guilty or not. That doesn't have anything to do with if they find you guilty, you understanding that they could send you to prison for between 2 years and up to 10 years. Do you understand that part? What are you, yes or no? No, you don't understand that. So, Ms. Pugh, it's my understanding, I'm not going to allow you to represent yourself because you don't understand the law and the process. So we're on question number 4 out of 15 that I'm supposed to ask you. So, Mr. Jeffries is going to stay on your case.
I do not want Mr. Jeffries on my
I don't care what you want at this point. You can't do it. All right, you can go back with the bailiff. I'm done. Go back with the bailiff.
It's not on my case.
Go back with the bailiff.
It's not on my case.
Welcome to the criminal appointment list.
Yeah, fun, Judge.
This was not meant to be any kind of punishment, I promise. So Mr. Jeffries, just, get ready like you would. Probably it's going to go straight on to a jury. And we'll just get it figured out that way.
now listen. Everything you've said here has been overruled. And here's why. You have a lawyer, and your lawyer will file the appropriate motions. You're interrupting me again, which is disrespectful. So I'm going to leave Mr. Lewis as your attorney, unless you choose to represent yourself or hire someone else. I'm giving you 2 weeks to figure out what you're going to do. You can go back with the BIST, or you can comply with your appointed attorney. You already said that, and that's overruled. Go back with the BIST, get your own attorney, or represent yourself. If you don't like it, that's your choice. Miss Pugh, mumbling in protest. Judge, yes, that's embarrassing, but wait, there's more. Pauses dramatically. Actually, this sovereign citizen will return later, and don't worry, I've got that hearing covered too. Dealing with someone like this, well, it's essentially like debating with a brick wall, except the brick wall believes it knows constitutional law. Now, here's the thing. I think the judge deserves a prize for patience. Seriously, this person is giving us a masterclass in how to remain calm while being completely derailed. But hey, I'm all for giving this judge credit. Despite Miss Pugh's irritability, the judge is staying cool. And that's admirable. Now, what do you think about how the judge is handling all this? So far,